you never really understand what you just said until you know and understand what the other person heard. Dr. Jones here with another weekly video message, and you may have guessed it's about communication. You see, currently I'm reading a book right now called Raise Your Game. And this book has tons of tips, anecdotes, skill sets, stories, things that will help anybody, really at any level, well, as you may have guessed, raise their game. One of the biggest issues that I found was that it talks a lot about communication. It talks about communicating with a team, communicating to those you lead, communicating to those that lead you. So I want you to think about that one more time, because it's super important to understand that we like to communicate, we try to communicate, we think we're communicating, and oftentimes we do this without taking into account what the person hears from us. And so we really don't know what we're communicating until we understand what they got, because communication is a two-way street. I mean, think about it. How many times have you said, I've told you this 100 times, why don't you get it? Where I might argue that if you've had to tell somebody 100 times, they might not be the problem. What the problem is communicating. And so, why am I telling you this? Why is this applicable? It's because oftentimes we'd like to tell everybody that questions are important. And the best thing you can do is ask a well-informed question or a good question. And it's good questions that lead to great answers. And that's how we move forward. But what if you have questions, you don't understand what's going on, but the questions you're asking aren't delivering the right message to the person that needs to answer them? So, where do we go from there? Try these 3 ideas. Simplicity. Make sure the question you're asking is direct, simple, and clear. You don't have to ask a question that kind of beats around the bush or tries to make it seem like you understand part of it, all of it, or anything like that. Don't take the chance. If you need an answer, communicate clearly, concisely what it is you're wondering about. 2, if the person isn't answering the exact question you asked, or they start to veer off, politely pause them, stop them, and say, you know what? Maybe I didn't ask the question right, or I don't think I was clear enough with my question. Put it back on you, because really, communication is the responsibility of the person trying to communicate. And sometimes we get a little mixed up because it's not the person that's answering the question that's trying to communicate. It's the person asking the question, because you're trying to continue what's going on. 3rd, and the step that we often forget or skip because it's just so simple, and sometimes we see people that speak a different language or not the native language of where they are use this. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm asking you? And even, it doesn't hurt to ask them to repeat it back to you. So think about it. We can all clear up communication and make it easier if we communicate and ask questions clearly and concisely. Take responsibility for the communication and never hesitate to ask, do you understand what I'm saying? Because after all, you can communicate all you want, but if there's no understanding, well, you really haven't communicated. I love this quote so much, I just want to leave it with you one more time. Remember, you don't really understand what you said until you know and understand what the other person heard. Hey, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this. And if you found any value, please don't hesitate to comment, offer me some feedback, share it with somebody else who you think might find value. And remember, be purposeful, act with integrity, and always build your character. You have a great day.